Hi everyone. How is everybody doing? Can I see reactions, please, from the audience? Can I see emoticons on your screen? So let's see there. I think I see people there. Thank you. Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's session. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Miss Franz Suma of the Career Services Office of Asia Pacific College, and welcome to this webinar hosted by the NU Asia Pacific Academy. Just a brief background about NU Asia Pacific Academy. It is an international career center for continuing education and professional upskilling in the Asia Pacific region. We are currently based in Makati City, Philippines, and we are offering workshops, master tracks, and customized training done virtually. It is open to everyone seeking career advancement and or to desire to shift to digital pathways or even learning something new or something fresh. And we welcome those who are from the North America, China, ASEAN, and even the Asia Pacific College. Later on, one of my teammates will be able to post it in the chat box, the website of NU Asia Pacific Academy. So for you to be able to see what are the offerings. And first off, usually the webinars are once a month, and we kick off from this the series of webinars for today. And take note that we are recording these sessions and then will be available upon request. And thank you once again. Welcome. And without further ado, actually, this is a very interesting topic this afternoon. I'm going to sit in, and I think I have to thank Miss Bavik for this. This is a very interesting topic, and I will not preempt our speaker. So may I now call on our speaker, Mr. Melvin Jason De Vera, to share about himself, his field of expertise, and the topic for today. And I believe me, ladies and gentlemen, this is very, very interesting. Hi, Sir Melvin. Good afternoon. You are on mute, sir. You're on mute po.
All right, thanks.
Right.
Yeah. Hi, good afternoon, and welcome to our webinar. And also big thanks to the organizers. And it's my advocacy to actually share, lalo na financial literacy, especially there are so many scams out there, and mostly people would be biting those scams for the desire to earn extra income or extra money. So we have to learn what are the legitimate markets where we can park our hard-earned money. So I am, by the way, a certified investment solicitor that is with the Securities and Exchange Commission and affiliated with First Metro Asset Management Incorporated. Also, I am the president of Finance Educators Association of the Philippines, or FinEd. And of course, I'm also a proud faculty of Asia Pacific College. So for this session, we're going to explore the financial markets. All right. I hope you're all ready. And can I check if my audio is okay with everyone? Thumbs up if audio is okay. Right. Thank you. Okay. So let me just share my screen then.
I guess, Sir Melvin, this is where the challenge of the sharing the technology.
Yeah, I'm co-host na. All right, thank you.
Yeah. Well, basically, that's the challenge of the technology right now. But then again, your topic, sir, is very interesting. I myself, so I'm going to listen in really. All right, go ahead, sir.
All right, so thank you. Okay. All right, so these are just my brief credentials though, but let's move forward. All right. So let us learn how to explore the financial markets. And before we think of investing, we have to learn how to investigate before investing. So that is doing your due diligence. So these are the top Ponzi scams in the Philippines. So when you say Ponzi, it's more like pyramiding. It's more like an investor being asked to recruit other investors and being incentivized for each investor that they bring in. All right, so we have Everarm, Rygen, Almamico, Kappa, and Goldex, and so many others. And these have gone nationwide, and we have so many Filipinos who had fallen for this. So we would like to avoid, all right, being victims further of these type of scams. So the Securities and Exchange Commission came up with a capital market participants registry system wherein you can check with their website the legitimate institutions and even the licensed professionals who can only do public solicitation of funds. So when you go to their site, that's cmprs.sec.gov.ph. So you will see there we have a tab for the institutions and a tab for the professionals. So for the institutions, just type in the name of the company. For example, I introduce myself being with First Metro Asset Management Incorporated. So you can actually type there First Metro Asset Management and then search. All right. And you can see there must be a result to appear. Otherwise, if no results were found, then think twice before you invest in that company. Aside from the institution, also check the professionals. So for example, this is me, Melvin Jason de Vera. All right, search, type the last name, the first name, and it should also appear together with the certificate registration number. All right. So how do we spot red flags in investment? So when you say red flags, we're talking of warnings, right? Or danger signals so that we can avoid engaging into investment with these firms. So first, when there is effortless and impressive ROI. So it's so easy to scam victims with this way of easy money. If the promised returns are really high and the risk is really low, this should ring an alarm bell for you. When it sounds too good to be true, like doubling your money in just 30 days, most likely it's a scam. Name changing. So a company's name is part of its brand. The name is what the public associates the company with. Now, if someone approaches you introducing an investment opportunity with company X and then changes its name to company Y for relocation purposes after a few months, you're most likely dealing with a scammer. No reputable company with long-standing credibility will change its name as quickly as that. All right. Complicated investment plans. So when you've tried to understand the investment plan and still can't make sense of it and how your investments are going to earn, then don't do it. So don't be swayed by the jargons that they sound smart, they look smart, right? But you should be able to understand easily the plan on how to earn and what are the risks associated with the investment. All right. No physical office. So if you're mostly having meetings in the coffee shops or restaurants because company has no physical office, be worried. Companies that only perform transactions online and through social media platforms will be harder to track down should they run away with your money. Now this, persuasive recruitment and investment solicitation. Investors should not become recruiters, inviting people and offering investment to others. Mostly, these are persuasive. They are persuasive to recruit because they are promised with incentives for each new investor that they can invite. Also, investment solicitation from the public should only be done by licensed professionals by the SEC. So let's also assess our investor readiness and suitability. So before we start investing, consider your net worth, what you own versus what you owe. Know your net worth before you start investing and then determine your investment net worth. Determine your net worth again after investing. So it's like before and after, how much was changed in your net worth. Also, determine how much should go to the investment. You cannot be investing your entire savings because you will have no liquidity. So there must be a part of your liquidity, which is your savings, and only a fraction of it goes to the investment. Also, know your objectives and targets, whether it's growth, capital preservation, and determine the maximum risk you can tolerate. Also, set a target rate of return on the investment and target payback period. How long do you intend to keep the fund invested? So this speaks of your time horizon in investment. The shorter, then you can only enjoy, let's say, a low return but low risk if it's short term. If you go long term, it would entail higher potential returns, but also higher potential risk. So now let us explore investment opportunities. Okay, so first that we have mutual funds. So the mutual funds, these are not those that comes with the insurance. It's different, but it's also a legitimate product. Insurance that comes with the investments are like the VULs, or variable unit link or universal life insurance products. But then the insurance is the main product there. It's like pizza with toppings. The investment are just like toppings to the pizza. All right. And the pizza is the insurance itself. So these are the standalone mutual funds. Okay, so what are mutual funds? So when we talk about mutual funds being invested in the stock market or bond market or a mix of it, and we compare it, why don't I just open my own stock trading account? So if you open your own stock trading account and manage its trades, it's just like driving your own car. You can do shortcuts, long cuts, stopovers. It's your decision. But with mutual funds, it's just like riding a passenger jeep, wherein you will be able to enjoy sitting back, relax, and there's a driver, right? And there are routes where the passenger jeep could go to, all right? So just like mutual funds, there are policies or investment policies that fund managers follow, and we are just like passengers, right? We just ride along with it, okay? So a mutual fund is a pool of money professionally managed and invested in specific types of securities. So the fund manager monitors the markets wherein funds are invested and looks for more opportunities to invest, always with the intention to maximize the returns of the fund. So a good fund manager should outperform the usual alternative investment available mostly to big investors. So in mutual funds, these are the pool of investors, right? We pool their money. The fund manager chooses which securities to buy or invest in, all right? Building what we call a portfolio, okay? And the aim is to generate returns that can be distributed back to the investors. So advantages of a mutual fund. First, it is professionally managed. So the investment decisions are based on extensive knowledge and research of market conditions and on the financial performance of individual companies and specific securities. Also, it is diversified. So with your investment amount, it's like buying a basket of securities. Then if you need to liquidate, it's easy to redeem. You just surrender your investment to the investment company or mutual fund company, and you can redeem your investment. It is safe. It is highly regulated by the SEC, and also not only the company, but also its affiliates or the professionals. Pricing is made daily through the net asset value per share, or we call it the NAV-PS. Then we have voting rights because we are shareholders. We can elect the board of directors of the fund. And potential higher returns as compared with parking your money in time deposits or savings account, then you might as well take some risk and target potential high returns. Also, it is tax-free. So how do you make money in mutual funds? So let's say you invested at this date. All right. So this is the January 2008, and the shares price at 1.97 per share. So with your 100,000 pesos minus some management fees or entry fees, so there's a net of 98,500 pesos investable amount. With a 1.97 share price, you will be able to buy 50,000 shares. So you just hold those shares. No? Prices are not expected to always go up and not in a straight line. So as you can see from this point, the early direction is downward. That means if you redeem at these levels, you're at a loss. Why? Because the price went down compared to your entry price. All right. But the loss is considered what we call on paper, meaning just unrealized. It can still change. It's like floating profits or floating losses, right? So if you patiently waited for a recovery and it did recover, right? Now let's say at this point you want to redeem the investment and the price is now at 4.72. All right, and this was like end of December 2012. So this is a span of 5 years, and the price from 1.97 went up to 4.72. Therefore, the value of your investment is now at 236,000. All right. Or you can do a cost averaging strategy. Let's say you target to park some money periodically at regular intervals. So let's say every quarter or every month, whether price is up or down, doesn't matter. Keep on buying or keep on investing. Eventually, the average will be good, and you will still be in an earning position. So how do you choose your mutual fund provider? So we have what we call the PIFA, or the Philippine Investment Funds Association, wherein several companies offering mutual funds are listed, right? The legitimate companies. One of which is our company where I am affiliated. This is First Metro Asset Management Incorporated. So there are different types of mutual funds wherein they are designed to be invested in specific security types. For example, equity funds, these are invested purely in stocks. So the entire basket of investment will go to stocks. Or balance funds, which means these are combinations of stocks and bonds in one portfolio. Fixed income, a combination of different fixed income securities like treasury bills, treasury bonds, corporate bonds, short-term commercial papers. Okay. Money market funds are just fixed income securities too, but only of short term, those that can mature less than 1 year or in 1 year. Or index funds, these are like tracker funds. So they track the performance of an index. For example, the PSEI or the Philippine Stock Exchange Composite Index or the Consumer Index Fund. Okay. So with First Metro Asset Management Incorporated, these are our managed funds. So we have, for the equity fund, we have the Save and Learn Equity Fund. So the brand Save and Learn is more like a tagline wherein while you are learning the mechanics of investing in the market, you are already starting to save. All right, so it's Save and Learn. Then we have the Balance Fund, the combination of stocks and bonds, fixed income fund. We have also the money market fund, and we have a dollar denominated fund invested in different bonds, dollar bond fund. We also have the crossbreed of a stock and a mutual fund. That's a mutual fund trading in the exchange. We call it the ETF or the exchange traded fund. And we also have an index tracker fund. So this is the Save and Learn Philippine Index Fund. So these are the features, advantages, and benefits. So if you are more on conservative growth and you want the pool of fund to be invested in a basket of corporate bonds and government securities, then the recommended type of fund would be a fixed income fund or a money market fund. Now, if you're more into mix of stocks and bonds, we have the focus fund and the balance fund. For capital growth invested in stocks, go for the equity fund. And for capital growth also invested in stocks, we have the Philippine Index Fund and the ETF, or the Exchange Traded Fund. So how do you start investing? For example, with FAMI or First Metro Asset Management, then we have a website. Please take note of it: www.fami.com.ph. There's an open an account tab. All right, just click on that. Then you will be directed to a page that contains a 6-step process. Fill out electronically the applicant data sheet. You can also submit by uploading your scanned ID with 3 signatures on it. How do you do that? Prepare a piece of paper. You sign 3 times on that sheet. Put your ID on top of that paper. Take a photo of the ID together with the paper and upload it. All right. Then answer the suitability assessment, which will determine which fund is best suited based on your risk profile. Then nominate your bank settlement account, wherein you can have your proceeds of redemption or withdrawal credited to your bank account. Then you will be asked to have an interview scheduled. Well, you can request that I will be the one to do your interview, all right, and I will also be your solicitor. Then acceptance of terms and conditions, and then the confirmation screen. All right, so if you want to explore bond market, then we can actually go straight to a bond market. How? We can look for bonds offered in different brokers too, and in the Bureau of Treasury. So what are bonds? These are certificate of indebtedness issued either by corporations or government. So the purpose is to raise capital also, or funding fusion, okay? For government, we also have what we call monetary policy, wherein there's open market operation, like if they want to contract or expand the money supply in the circulation or in the economy, they can actually offer or buy or sell, government securities. All right. So there are fixed income in it in the form of coupons that are paid either semi-annually or quarterly, and it has maturity date. So how do we find bonds to invest? Basically, we can look into the Treasury website or the Bureau of Treasury website. So that's www.treasury.gov.ph. Example was this. This was the premium bonds. And then we also had the RTB, or the retail treasury bonds. Then whenever you find your desired bond to invest into, simply click on its ordering form and fill it out. And you can actually settle your payment over the counters of accredited banks, or you can have it through your brokers if you have existing trading account brokers. All right. In my case, I chose to settle it with my broker. Okay. So the broker that I'm talking about can be also a stock trading broker. So it's more like a one-stop shop. You can open a trading account with a stockbroker and can also trade bonds, okay, if there are offers. But again, the bonds may be limited in terms of availability. Unlike stocks, we have several stocks to choose from. All right. So what are stocks? These are also known as equities or shares, or in Tagalog, we call it SAPI. So if you're a stockholder, we call you kasapi of the owners of the company. So these represents shares of ownership interest in a corporation. And why do corporations issue stocks? Because they want to raise capital. So how do we make money from stocks? One is through dividends, and the other is through stock price appreciation. So dividends are the declared out of the unrestricted retained earnings and are declared by board of investors. So these are like sharing the company's earnings to its investors or to its shareholders. And we have different types of dividends. You may receive cash or additional stock of the same company that you bought. All right, we call it stock dividends. We also have property dividends, which means share of stock also, but of another company that is owned by the stock that you bought. For example, you bought, let's say you bought Ayala Corporation, and you will be given property dividend of a Globe Telecom stock, all right, since it's owned by Ayala, all right. So there are 4 dates to remember when dividend, and then the X date. So this is the buy before and hold until date to remember. Meaning, for you to be eligible with the dividend, you have to buy the stock before the X date and hold until the X date. Then there's a record date, usually 2 weeks after the X date, and then the match awaited, the payment date, the date when the dividends will be credited to your account. So this is the PSE Edge. So you can actually visit this website for monitoring upcoming dividends. That's www.edge.pse.com.ph. All right. So the second way to make money in stock investment is through capital gains. So capital gains, or it could be losses, because it is computed as the difference between the price which you bought the security until the price when you sold already the shares. So it's like selling price minus your buying price. Now, to make money, we always say buy low, sell high. All right? Or you can buy high, sell higher. But if you do the buy high, sell low, you're in a losing position. All right? So for example, in this case, a stock was bought at this price, 10 pesos, and then it went up. Price already went up. Your investment making 4,000, but on paper, or ibig sabihin, it's unrealized. All right? You did not redeem, or you did not close, you did not sell your shares, but the price went down. You look at it, your investment is now minus 1,000. All right? That would be fine, because again, the losses are just on paper. Okay? And if you patiently waited for recovery and it did, then for your next check, you could be earning 10,000 already. All right. So let us check some of the stocks that I bought way back 2003, which I monitored their prices up to 2007, 2010. So check. Let's say my favorite here is Meralco. Meralco was priced at 8.73 during that time, became 19.45 after 4 years, and then 190 by 2010. And when we check the prices, December 2020, it was already at 300, but it went down on March 2021 to 71. But still, if you invested since 2003 or 2005, 2007, you could have really made such money from the stock investment. So you just have to be patient in waiting. All right. But we have to learn to choose what types of stocks should we get for ourselves, right? So mostly what's being traded are common stocks. So these are, from the word common, ordinary. Shares of ownership. So if you are a stockholder, then you're one of the owners of the company. You are entitled to receive dividends, and you also have voting rights during the annual stockholders meeting. Now, preferred stocks, they just get the preference of being paid first with the dividends, and the dividends have fixed rate or fixed amount. But then the stock price of the preferred stock does not fluctuate. So you don't expect capital gain from preferred stocks, just dividends. All right. But that's again before they pay out dividends to shareholders. The preferred stockholders gets to be paid first before the common stockholders. So forms of stock, these are commonly known for conservative investors, blue chips, income, defensive. So when you say blue chips, these are the strong, stable, and profitable companies. All right. Again, these are good for long term. Okay, example of blue chips, Meralco. When it comes to electricity, what comes into your mind? Meralco. When it comes to malls, SM. How about real estate? SM Prime Holdings. Bank, BDO. All right, so these are blue chips. They have been existing for a number of years, and we can still expect them to continuously exist. All right. Income stocks, these are stock that pays high dividends, meaning they publish good earnings consistently, and they share a high portion of it as dividends. All right. Defensive, there will always be demand or need for their products and services as they are needed. For example, electricity. So Meralco is a defensive stock. Okay, the water companies are also defensive stocks. Now, growth stocks, you don't expect dividends from these. Why? Because they would rather expand their company, use the income to expand. All right. So anyway, as they expand, so let's say this is the introduction stage, the growth stage, the maturity stage, and the decline. So we want to ride the steep uphill climb of the stock price, all right, during the growth stage. So the speculative is more like speculate. It's more on rumors. We find catalysts or game changers, all right. We say we buy on rumors, then we sell on news. When the news come out, that will be your confirmation. Cyclical, it follows economic cycle. So stock price goes up during the time of expansion towards the peak, and it goes down during the recession and slump or trough. So sample of these are banks and property companies, real estate. They follow the economic cycle. All right. And seasonal, from the word itself, season, the products and services have seasons or seasonalities. So what is the Philippine Stock Exchange? So this is our market. We are centralized. So it stands in the middle of all the buyers, sellers, and brokers. So buyers and sellers, they don't transact directly to each other. No, right? You cast your order to a broker. All right. Seller also cast the order to the broker. The brokers bring it to the stock exchange. When the orders match, it will be dealed. All right. So there's a deal once the order match. So trading starts 9 a.m., 9:30 a.m. and ends 3 p.m. All right. So this is the stock ticker board. All right. So there are more than 250 stocks listed in the market, but we have what we call the index, which represents the entire market. And these are a choice of 30 blue chip stocks in the country. All right. So when you say, how's the stock market in the Philippines, we look at the index. So even if there are ups and downs and there are factors that drives it down, for example, Asian financial crisis, bombing of Twin Tower, Lehman Brothers default, China, US trade war, COVID, right? But even though there are ups and downs or peaks and valleys in the stock market, the trajectory is still upward, all right? Your average earnings will still be good, right, in the long term. So how do you start investing in stocks? First, choose your broker, and you must have a settlement bank account. Either, let's say, BDO, BPI, Metro Bank, all right? Then fill out the account opening forms in the available in the broker's website, all right? Then fund your trading account and choose stocks to buy. Okay, so for example, this is the PSC website. There is a directory of brokers. Just click the directory. You can see a lot of them. But I do recommend go with online brokers, less fees and less hassles contacting them, right? Then click the open an account. Okay. Then just fill out the information, upload your IDs, all right? Fund your trading account. Now, when you have buying power already, because you already funded the account, then you can already cast your orders, buy, and then once you bought, it will be in the portfolio. So just monitor. If you're ready to sell, click your sell button. All right. So that's basically how you trade. For example, you just buy low, sell high. Okay, you make money. So why do stock prices fluctuate? It's because of news, economic, business, right? Macros, etc. All right. So it's like law of demand and supply. If there are positive news, there will be more buyers, less sellers, higher share price. All right. Conversely, negative news will have more sellers and less buyers. Price will go down. There are charges. Anyway, this will be available in most of the websites of brokers. You can see them, and they may change also. All right. And there's what we call a board lot, which determines how many shares you can buy per price bracket of the stock. So can you lose money in stocks? Easily. So this is not easy actually. So you must have the wisdom to choose the good stocks and avoid the bad stocks. All right. So stick with the winners. So as the it's a way of participating in the economy. If the economy grows, right, we also grow. All right. So this covers my presentation for today, and I will uh, turn over to the host, and we may be entertaining questions for our session. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Sir Melvin. Let's give a virtual clap to our speaker. No, it's very, very informative. It actually during that time, Sir Melvin, I just realized pala, yun pala yung ibig sabihin ng kasapi.
Yes, kasapi.
I was like,
Uh,
wow, yun pala yun. But actually, it's a good also, no? Actually, it's a good thing also that we are aware of, because I guess, I believe that we have here, the younger generation right now are more interested in the investments, no? If I may say it, they are starting to be aware of what needs to be invest and what are the schemes. Actually, the challenging right now is to discern, Sir Melvin. I guess let us take this opportunity for, if you have any questions, you can unmute your mic or raise a virtual hand, and then, or if not, if you're not shy enough, you can put it on the chat box. But let me start off. No, ako na yung nauna.
yes.
I'll be the first one. No? I'm just as curious. Sir, you mentioned that we have to be aware of the different schemes, but there are some that are really, you may say, too good to be true. So how will you know yung ano yun eh, how will you know if it's really, the offer is tempting or the returns are very, very tempting, and it's very common actually in the provinces, yung
Yeah.
ano, may
Uh,
interest, may ganito, tapos ganito ang balik. So parang, how will you convince? Because the people in the Greater Manila area, or in Metro Manila in particular, they're already aware when they have the higher returns, it's already a red flag. But how can you convince people in the provinces? Kasi
yeah.
yun yung ano eh, kasi yun yung parang, if I say it in Tagalog, no?
Oo.
Hindi, eto, nag-invest si Maring ganyan. Ayan na, the word of mouth,
The
di
word
ba?
of mouth,
So,
right?
tuloy-tuloy. Kaya parang how will we be able to not really convince, educate our relatives in the provinces that we have to be prudent enough in
That's
discerning for the
very true. As a matter of fact, for the past years, I've been doing financial literacy caravan. So I go really different places, Visayas, Mindanao particularly. And I experienced being threatened also by a group of these people offering the scams, because I will be more like contrabida to them, right? But as again, doing the due diligence is really the best part, validating everything. So we don't just believe with what we hear, what they say, right? So for example, even if I myself offers you an investment, I say, I am with this company. You go to the SEC website and check. You can type. That's why I introduced the CMPRS of the SEC. You can easily check there. Even the name of the person soliciting the investment. So there's a thin red line between an investment solicitor and just a salesman. So with us, if the person does not understand, we don't shake their hands. So okay, this is not for you, or you're not ready to invest, right? That's why there's suitability assessment. So we check if is it it's easy to say that we must hit the quota and we must say produce sales, right? But we need to check if it's suited for the investor. So one of the things that I can really suggest is that they must have a good and reliable mentor or advisor. And they check if this person is also accredited or affiliated with brokers or with financial institutions that also carry licenses. So at least these people will take care of you, will guide you, all right? And also do the research, do your homework. Now we have more websites, very informative. All right, so we can actually go even free trainings. like this. So we actually get them to attend more of these seminars or webinars. Okay, so we can spread the literacy and education.
Okay, so Miss Mavic, kailangan pa yata mahaba-habang investment talks. It's more an advantage. And actually, sir, in the chat box, there are two questions. First, it's coming from Sir Jose. Is there a minimum investment required for investing in mutual funds? I believe he is referring to the amount. Like, will
Yes.
there be a minimum amount? Yeah.
Since there is a law governing the mutual fund companies, and it was said that no mutual fund company can offer less than 5,000. But they can set their own, but except they can't go below 5,000. So most of the mutual funds, you can start with 5,000, but just the initial. But top up, what are top ups? Like additional investment to the fund. There's a multiple of 1,000s. I mean, not less than 1,000. You can top up like 1,400, 1,300, but not less than 1,000. So what we usually suggest is like the peso cost averaging. They invest 5,000, and let's say every month they put 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. All right, rain or shine. I mean, whether prices go up or down. The benefit when prices are going down and you invest the same amount, but you can buy more shares. So it's like buying a 1,000 worth of fuel and the prices roll back, so you can buy more liters, right? With your 1,000. If the price went up, you can buy few liters because the price went up. So, but overall, it's accumulation of the shares that eventually we say, okay, you cannot afford to buy 1,000 shares in one time, but you can buy 10 shares 100 times, right? And that's also 1,000 shares. All right. They just have to be patient. All
Yeah,
right.
patience is key, especially when it comes for growing, because that's the reason why that I think Sir
Yeah.
Jose was able to clap. So I guess it was if the question was answered very
Thank you, Jose.
fluently. Yeah, and then siguro just a follow up. Hannah was asking also, may you recommend some companies that are good to invest?
All right. Thank you for that question. Actually, I won't go biased, even if I am affiliated with a particular company. All right. But I cannot lowball the other companies. For as long as they can be found in if that's a stockbroker, check in the Philippine Stock Exchange website. As long as you can find them listed there, they are legitimate. Right? All these companies, they have good personnel in it, licensed people or professionals. Products and services are governed by SEC. So we don't have any problem with that. For mutual funds, check with the Philippine Investment Funds Association or PIFA. You can also see there the performance of the funds, like for the past 3 years, 5 years, CAGR, compounded annual growth rate. So we can see the performance. So that the numbers speak for themselves. So I would not say we're the best. Then when they look at the site, we're not the best. Right? So but for as long as you can find the name of the companies in the also in the SEC, do not forget. That's why it's very important that we are aware that the Securities and Exchange Commission has this portal where you can check companies. As long as you can find the investment company name there, that's legitimate, that's safe.
Okay, so bottom line, when it comes for investments or companies, first off, the investment broker or the company handling the investment funds should be registered in SEC. The people
Yes.
handling the advisors or the people in charge should be certified as well or licensed broker. And then
Yes.
second, and then the most important of them all is the fund performance.
Yeah.
So, and
Let me
actually, lakas
also
ng loob, no? I think the courage to invest is also one thing, because some of us are that conservative enough and we wanted good returns, but so that's the reason why we invest low, and then some would be, we are moderate risk takers, and some are really on the high risk. So that's more, I guess, the bottom line for each.
yeah.
Am I right,
And
Sir
if I
Melvin?
may add, ma'am, let us not be fooled by those showing SEC certificate or
Ah,
registration.
yes. Mm-mm.
Because there, these are common business registration with SEC. And
Yes,
that's not
yes.
what we call a secondary license.
Mm-hmm.
So the SEC license is different than an SEC registration. So an
Mm-hmm.
SEC license is like the SEC is licensing or authorizing you to solicit investment from the public.
All
And
right.
that's why in most businesses, whether it's a sole prop, right, or whether it's a partnership or corporation,
Corporation.
if they get an SEC registration cert, there will always be a clause that SEC does not allow them to solicit
Ah,
funds
yes.
from the
So
public.
important will be the license itself that they are
Yeah,
authorized by SEC. So there you have it. That's I guess that's very interesting to note, no? And that's actually more to come. More to come in terms of the investments. And I think portfolio will be the next best topic, how to handle the
yes,
portfolios. But right now, let's not bombard our audience right now with so many highfalutin words, because as it is, the investments are another thing, and managing your portfolio is another
it's
thing with the
another.
help
Yeah.
of your ano. So I guess that's a follow up, no, Miss Mavic? Do you agree with with our banter here with the ano? Go ahead, Miss Mavic. You want to say something? Miss Mavic, we cannot hear you if you're saying something.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, now.
Okay.
And
So we're actually very, very informed this afternoon of a lot of new things. I myself uh, doesn't have, I mean, I don't have a lot of ideas, particularly on this topic. And it will be worthwhile to come up with a follow-up webinar on this, because this will be helpful to our professionals and both the working and retired professionals, I think.
I guess, Miss Mavic, aside from the working and the retired, maybe we can also invite also the graduating students for them to be aware of. I am definitely, like what Sir Melvin has said, that he is also on the caravan for financial literacy. That's one of the topics. Starting them young. Ika nga, no? So thank you so much, Miss Mavic. Thank you, Sir Melvin. May I call on Sir Manny Magbuhat? Good afternoon, Sir Manny. Yeah, good. To share about the program, and definitely, Sir Manny will be able. I guess Sir Manny has able some nuggets of wisdom also when it comes from, but more on the management side, no.
Yes.
And that is coincidentally, actually, I'm if I'm not mistaken, the things that Sir Melvin discussed are also part of the program that Sir Manny will be discussing. Go ahead, Sir Manny.
Thank you, Franz, and thank you, Melvin, for sharing it with us your
Yes, sir.
expertise this afternoon. So yes, I would. I'm Manny Magbuhat, and I'm presently overseeing the graduate program of the Master of Man in Management, uh, and I am encouraging all of you, inviting and encouraging all of you to be part of our Master in Management program. Asia Pacific College offers this, uh, and our Master of actually the complete title is Master in Management with specialization in business analytics. And if you enroll in this program through the NUAP, Asia Pacific Academy, you can pursue this your master's virtually, and you can finish it in 2 years. You can complete it in 2 years. And the Master in Management program, it really consists of 36 units, of which 12 units are core subjects, and 18 units are specialization subjects. And there is a 6-unit independent study which completes the program. And here you develop you develop innovative projects. This is what we call the capstone. In lieu of a thesis, we do capstones. So the program, the Master Management Program, it is case-based and application-oriented, and it integrates all the functional areas of business. And we, like I said earlier, with specialization in business analytics, this is a very innovative course, because in all of the subjects that you will be taking, we have integrated business analytics. And with business analytics, it means we use data. No? We use data, we look at data, we study data to arrive at a decision. No? And that is very important, especially in today's world, where on a daily basis, billions and billions of terabytes of data are generated. And we, as a business person, you have to have the ability to understand what the data is saying, for you to be able to compete. So again, I would like to invite you to enroll in our Master in Management program with specialization in business analytics. You can enroll through the NU Asia Pacific Academy, and you can pursue this virtually online and complete it in 2 years' time. So with that, France?
Thank you, Sir Manny. Very informative.
Yes.
And actually, we have very competitive and competent faculty in the Master in Management program. You can be assured of that. And then, as it is fully virtual, the class is online. So anywhere, anytime in the world, you can enroll and study. So actually, as it is, the world is already flat with all the diversity we have, and especially with the pandemic, the technology is there. So we use the technology for everything. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Thank you for mentioning the faculty. Yes, in fact, the faculty are all industry practitioners. And in fact, in several of the subjects, we even use gamification to teach games. We use games to teach the subject.
So that's one whole concept, leveling up the game. So if we're fond of playing when we were kids, we apply it right now in real life. Thank you so much, Sir Manny.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. On behalf of NU Asia Pacific Academy, we would like to thank our expert this afternoon, Sir Melvin, Mr. Melvin Jason de Vera, for the noteworthy insights. Very, very insightful. And then how to avoid illegitimate investments and the different options in growing one's funds. So I think after this, the audience here might convince their relatives, hey, let's look for Sir Melvin and consult additional. And why not? No? Why not? I think Sir Melvin was able to flash on the screen the contact details. And if not, if you're interested to connect with Sir Melvin, you can get in touch with Miss Mavic or the NU Asia Pacific team for the contact details. We would like also to thank our participants who joined today's session, and kindly answer the webinar feedback before you leave. It's already posted on the chat box. Once again, my name is Franz. Thank you so much, everyone, and we hope to see you in our next webinar series from ANU Asia Pacific College. Thank you so much. I think let me